What is the grossest thing you've ever done? Story number 1. I had to pop a ridiculously bloated cow carcass about 10 years ago. The cow was roughly twice its normal size. During college, I was working on an island beach as a naturalist and ranger, and a dead cow washed up on the swimming beach. To remove the cow, my boss and I beached our boat, tied a rope around the legs, and towed the cow approximately 3 miles out into the ocean, hoping the tides would carry the cow elsewhere. We untied the cow and went back to work. Mission accomplished. About 4 hours later, a beachgoer ran up to our shack, ranting about a cow that washed up on the beach. Again! Oh my. The dead cow washed up within 15 feet of the original spot. For the non-Americans watching, that's 4.57 meters. We repeated the process to remove the cow from the beach, but instead of simply releasing the cow again, we decided the best course of action was to lance the cow and release the pressure so the carcass didn't act as a buoy and keep floating along the beach. We intended to draw straws to decide who was the lucky stabber, but I ended up doing it without protest because I thought it would be interesting. I took aim and plunged the large knife towards the cow with all my might. I hit my mark. I'd be inept if I missed such a large target, but the knife just bounced off the height. I thought to myself, no fucking way. I readied myself for a second attempt, but with a different strategy. This time I ended up leaning overboard and using a significant portion of my body weight to attempt to pierce the thick hide. Fortunately, more like unfortunately, I was successful. The cow ruptured and exploded. A deluge of hot gases along with the most disgusting smell I have ever smelled. The smell permeated the air worse than 1,000 farts and sprayed goo and aerosolized smell particles everywhere. Oh my. We started dry heaving, then my boss threw up a little. It was torture. Needless to say, we got the hell out of there ASAP and blew through the no-wake zones on our way back to the dock, so we could dispose of our clothes and shower. Was it a unique experience? Hell yeah. Would I ever do it again? Hell no. Story number 2. I once ate Arby's at 11:30 p.m. in the middle of nowhere, New Mexico. I get back on the road and about 45 minutes and no gas stations and squirming all over my seat, I come to the horrifying conclusion. I'm going to shit my pants. I pull off on the next exit and I absolutely ass cannon the shoulder of the road. Praise God. No one was around at all, but that felt nasty. I found an old shop rack to wipe my ass in my trunk, and away I went. Horrifying. Story number 3. I was an RN, a registered nurse at a hospital. I came off shift, and I had to turn a patient. She was frail, old, obese, hadn't been turned in days, and was sitting in an aging pile of shit. I insisted on turning and cleaning her. While attempting to turn her, my gloved hand sank 3 to 4 inches through her semi-transparent gelatinous skin, allowing her adipose tissue, the color of a pale orange creamsicle, to spill out, warm and creamy, across my hairy forearm. The patient, reacting to the noise I made that sounded like a cow being smothered, arched her head back towards me and asked, "What was that?" I was fucking floored and nauseous. I froze, staring at the jiggling gob, struggled to reply, and stammered to the nurse across from me something along the lines of, "Stop! My hand is inside her! Stop! Stop! Lay her back!" I'll never forget the confusion of the resident as I discreetly attempted to explain how I put my hand into her ass cheek and felt my thumb touch her pelvis. Then I showed him the small pile of fat on the bed and creamy remains still tangled in the hairs of my forearm. Still tangled in the hairs of my... Still tangled in the hairs on my forearm. I've done a lot of gross things, but putting my hand inside someone's ass cheek and having their fat spill out on my arm is by far the number one. Story number 4. I chewed bubblegum that had been spit out on the ground. When I was like 5 years old, I wasn't allowed to chew bubblegum. One day, I came across some that had been spit out on the sidewalk in front of our house. In front of my house. I took it and rinsed it under the sink for a minute to get the visible dirt and debris off and put it in my mouth. Obviously, I was a kid and didn't think anything of it, but when I started learning about germs later on, I always cringe at this memory. I am confident that this exposure to who knows how many germs gave me superhuman immune system. I never get sick.